My husband said I was better behind the scenes. Then his boss looked at me during dinner and asked, "Why does this sound like your work?" For years, I thought helping my husband was just what marriage looked like. Grant would come home from work stressed, drop his laptop on our kitchen table and say, "Nora, can you look at this real quick?" Real quick always turned into 2 hours. I rewrote his slides, fixed his talking points, cleaned up his messy plans, and helped him prepare for meetings he acted like he was handling alone. At first, I felt proud, like we were a team. Then I started noticing that only one person was getting treated like the genius. Grant would come home glowing and say, "Henry loved the deck," or, "The client said I finally understood the problem." I would wait for him to say thank you. Instead, he would kiss my forehead and say, "See? This is why we work." Whenever I talked about doing more with my own career, he made it sound like concern. "You're great with details," he said, "but you don't have executive presence." I believed him longer than I want to admit. Then one Friday, Grant came home panicking. His company was about to lose a huge retail client, and his boss wanted a recovery plan by Monday. Grant complained for hours, then finally shoved the laptop toward me and said, "Fine. You like puzzles. Tell me what I'm missing." I stayed up until almost 2 in the morning. The problem was obvious. Grant's team kept bragging about user numbers and training calls, but the client wanted proof the software was actually saving time and money. So I rebuilt the whole plan around impact, executive visibility, and measurable recovery. I even wrote the line Grant later repeated in the meeting: "You don't need another vendor promising engagement. You need a partner proving impact." He skimmed it and said, "That's actually pretty good." On Monday, he presented it. By Wednesday, the client stayed. Grant came home grinning like he had saved the company by himself. Henry said it was the clearest pivot anyone's brought him all year. I waited for thank you. He said, "We make a good team." A month later, his company had a dinner near downtown Richmond. Grant told me to wear the navy dress because it looked polished. At dinner, Henry came over and asked about the recovery plan. Grant started answering, but Henry looked at me and said, "Did Grant run that by you?" I almost protected him. Instead, I said, "We talked through it at home." Grant quickly said, "She's my sounding board." Then Henry asked me what the real client issue was. I answered. Then he asked another question. Then another. Within minutes, Henry was talking to me, not through me. Grant went quiet. On the drive home, he said, "You enjoyed making me look stupid." I said I answered questions. He snapped, "That was my work." And for the first time, I said, "No, Grant. I wrote most of that plan." The next week, Henry emailed me directly and offered a short consulting project. Grant said, "Absolutely not. This is my company." I accepted anyway. The review exposed broken promises, messy handoffs, and problems Grant had helped hide behind charm. His role was later eliminated in a restructuring, and Henry offered me a longer contract. Grant said I betrayed him. Maybe some people agree, but I didn't steal his job. I stopped letting him steal my voice. So was I wrong for accepting the opportunity, or did I finally stop disappearing for a man who only loved me when I made him look bigger?